Hey folks, it's Mike Ryan, and if you're watching our show, you've probably known your boy has undergone a little bit of a body transformation, and I gotta tell you, Peloton has helped me on my fitness journey. It got the ball rolling for me because I watch my wife on the Peloton. She takes all these great classes. She has her favorite instructors. I listen to the music. I'm a big music guy. It gets me fired up, makes me want to take part in this fitness phenomenon known as Peloton. Peloton offers a variety of challenging classes, from 4-week strength building classes to running, cycling, and everything in between. Peloton will help you achieve your goals, and maybe you'll have some fun along the way. I know I have. It's backed by thousands of members whose lives have been changed. Be part of that group. Telling you, I'm better for it. Have it in my office. Sometimes I can put on the baseball game. Sometimes I can put on a soccer match. Some other times I'm totally locked in on an emo playlist. Find your push. Find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com.
At the Home Depot, Spring Black Friday is here, and we've got 14 days of deals to transform your space. So what are you working on? How about a quick and stylish patio furniture update? And what's outdoor dining without a shiny new grill? Find a wide selection of grills under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner for only $229 at the Home Depot. Then add a little ambiance with string lights. Shop 14 days of deals during Spring Black Friday, now through April 16th at the Home Depot.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
So anyway, Stugotz, in the ramble of social media shame that I was talking about, one of the points I meant to make as I staggered and stumbled and rambled about is just sort of about a lack of confidence, how social media can affect you if you are in a state that lacks confidence. And I don't think I've said to anyone around here more than I've actually said to Jessica when we're in breaks apologizing for something because I'm like, man, I just don't have my confidence where it needs to be today. And so something that happened in the first hour that perhaps nobody would have noticed, but that I couldn't help but notice is that I was just sort of sloppy in a way that I was forgetting to get to Miami Heat talk in the local hour. I normally have, and I don't know if it's Jeremy that did this to me, just his face, but I actually wanted in the local hour to talk about simply a play-in game against Chicago that they will lose late after leading. Because they can't do anything late in games because they have a systemic problem of Barry Jackson did a very good deep dive on the data where they're really bad 5 feet from the rim. They don't get fouls. And in late in games, they got no chance because they don't have the kind of shot maker you need at the end of games. They're worst in the league at the end of games. And if you're worst in the league at the end of games, you've got no shot in that league. And so you're not going to do anything. And so while I would like to think that they can beat Chicago and want to hope in one more game of season, the metrics on this team are damning. And when you read the Terry Rozier stats, I imagine it has to make Mike Ryan a version of crazy to see everything that is happening with the Miami Heat and have Terry Rozier flame out in a way that, like, Eric Reed is just baffled. Eric Reed is watching the game. Eric Reed, in the history of this market, there have been no voices, I would say. Not a one. Maybe fellow Ramirez, I don't even know. Not a one. That are associated with the team the way that guy is and associated the way that team would want him to behave as a broadcaster, which is professional, but you're going to be pretty fiercely protective of the Heat. You're going to be somebody who can somehow be a broadcast professional who is credible, but everyone knows he's really rooting hard for the Heat. He can't even hide it.
I'm the third biggest homer in the market.
Every regional broadcaster, right? I mean, every regional broadcaster is broadcasting for their team.
Okay, but
Go ahead, do your thing, Jeremy.
You want me? I will.
Even he was confused and sort of angry at Terry Rozier.
Oh my God, I've never heard Eric Reed talk about a player the way that he has with Terry, which is just simply over and over again being like, man, nobody wants it more than Terry. He's trying so hard and nothing is going in the hoop for him. I mean, it was those types of exasperated calls all year long. Just one, I think what he might have said in the last game was, I've never seen a good player have as bad of a season for the Heat as Terry Rozier. So still couching it with good player, because he's been a good player his whole career.
Right.
This season was miserable. I wonder what the Heat's metrics would be if you just simply removed Terry Rozier from them.
But Dan is saying that this must drive Mike crazy. Mike feels vindicated. Mike's got his feet up on the table.
Well, what I forgot, this is what I forgot, okay? That Mike is, as a sports fan, the single biggest fan there is on earth of being right. And he nailed this one.
He learned that from us, Dan.
Not only did he nail this one, though, he nailed this one, and this is what I'm worried about. He's playing both sides on the Panthers and Marchand, where he wants them to win the trophy, but if they don't, he's got the person to blame.
Yeah, that's Mike.
Like that he is ready to pounce on the Panthers with the ego and arrogance of, I was right about Marchand, in a way that makes me think he's now rooting against the Panthers. I'm now looking at his face, and what I see is someone who might actually be rooting against the Panthers to defend their title.
What happens if they win, Mike? What do you praise the Marchand?
Well, then he wins. It's the perfect position.
It's a win-win.
It is. Wait a minute. He's figured something out formulaically in the talking about games of how it is to immediately seize on the new traded players so that you can have a scapegoat at the end of it. But I'm trying to figure out how he could have been more right about Rozier. The local broadcaster, like that's for him, spitting acid. I remember one time, I still laugh with Zaslow about this. I'll text it to him every once in a while. There was a loose ball once, and Eric Reed was trying to frame it with the proper enthusiasm during a bad season and with a player that was mediocre. And so there was a pause in his professionalism for just a moment, an uncomfortable moment. Loose ball, Heat player falls down, Heat don't get the ball, and Eric Reed gets a little carried away, and he goes, and Samaki Walker is a contributor. Which is like, it's just sort of like, I know you guys know what I know here, and I'm just going to wrap it in some Heat gift wrapping.
Well, if you want to talk contributors, Dan, I mean, Kyle Anderson has been great the last 15 games.
Can't believe Eric Reed did that to slow-mo. I mean,
all right, I'm not going to do the Heat talk anymore unless Mike Ryan wants to gloat one time.
No,
here.
I'm totally checked out. I'll watch the game. They'll lose, and hopefully they.
You won't watch the game.
No, I'm not going to watch the game.
right.
Of course you won't. You haven't watched one in like 2.5 years.
The game's tomorrow.
Yeah, Wednesday night.
I got a thing.
Yeah.
You want some stats to try to convince you that the thing can happen? Because I compiled a bunch just to try to convince you that the thing could happen. I don't know if I believe it or
what
not.
Thing? Beating the Bulls?
They could do the run again.
No.
You want to hear it? You want to hear why?
Fine.
I've compiled a whole bunch of them because remember?
Everyone said no, but you kept going.
Well, Stugotz eventually said yes because I badgered him enough.
I think we'll get it over quickly if we just let him do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the faster route.
That's been my whole approach. Get your shots up, Kate.
All right, let's do it. You know, in the last 15 games, the Miami Heat are 5th in net rating, only behind the Clippers, Thunder, Celtics, and Wolves. And you know that when it comes to making a run like they did in 2022-23, it's about shooting well from three. Remember, in that season, they shot just 35% from three, ultimately ticked up to 45% in the playoffs. If you look at the Heat this season, they were shooting about 36% throughout the year, but over those last 13 games, 40% from three. Now, that means they've gone 9-3 over that stretch. 9-3 this season with this group post-trade deadline, shooting 40% from three. Dan, you have thoughts on this?
Jessica, I'm sorry, is one of the thoughts that I have. One of the things that I would like to do with you, though, if we must insist on you giving all of the Heat homerism, is that I, on the other side, will just read some things from Barry Jackson's article that are less positive than that. Perfect for you, not for Jessica, not for anyone else listening to this.
Can we do some sort of Chicago-Miami wager? Like, if Chicago wins, I get the week off work. If Miami wins, we don't have to hear about from Jeremy for the rest of the playoffs.
Well, that doesn't feel very fair.
Wow. Those are some serious
I'm okay at talking about the other teams.
I'm rooting hard for the Heat. I mean,
I think I might be too.
During the final 5 minutes of games with a margin of 5 points or fewer, the NBA's definition of clutch, the Heat was outscored by 61 points. Only Toronto and Utah were worse. Shot 39.9% from the field, fifth worst, and shot a dreadful 25.6% on threes. Only Orlando was worse. No wonder the Heat was 18-24 in those games. One of the things that always happens in this sport, and this was interesting to hear Denver's owner Kroenke talk about this, on why he was about to fire Malone. He was about to fire everybody, and then Denver went on an 8-game winning streak. During that 8-game winning streak, they beat no winning teams except for Orlando, and so they decided not to fire them then, masked by the schedule, right? It's not, they didn't get any better.
You can't fire someone after 8 consecutive wins. I don't care who they come against.
No, that's what Kroenke said. He said, which is worse, a few games before the end of the season or in the middle of an 8-game winning streak? Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Can you fire someone during an 8-game winning streak?
Well, a lot of your stats there, Dan, actually lead right to mine, because to me, it seems like the Heat were one of those teams that got severely unlucky toward the end of games this season. You know, you talk about a season where they're 3-11 in games decided by 3 points or fewer. That's not only the most losses in the league in games decided by 3 points or fewer, that's the most in team history. They have 17 losses by 5 points or fewer. So in all of these games, but sometime the bounce goes the wrong way. They had 14 of those losses in 2023. So if you're keeping track, you're looking at a team that lost a lot of close games, is getting hot from three. There's the defensive side, Dan, but I imagine you might want to counter some of that.
All right, well, but just they were bad late in games, and so they lost close games late.
Those stats were just like they lost a lot of games by 5.
Yes.
They lost a lot of games.
But he's saying their luck's going to change. I mean, it has to change.
But it's not.
It has to change eventually. It changed in 23.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that's not.
I'm getting there.
It's not luck. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is what happens when you're bad.
Well, this is what happens when your
game.
team's decimated by your superstar tanking games. Trying to get out of here.
So look. This is it.
Please don't invoke his name.
I didn't.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's just simply quantifiable. Getting free throws late is really valuable in this sport in close games to slow the game down and just getting points at the line. Rozier shot 29.5% on threes, which was tied with Franz Wagner for second worst among 174 qualifiers. Was it the Wagner that got you? Was it just
Franz?
It was the percentage.
The percentage.
No, but wait a minute.
I love the Wagner.
But yeah, well, no.
That helped too.
Well, but I was so tempted to pronounce it Wagner. But Wagner puts an extra little flair on. Holy shit, Terry, you were bad. Because this is a comically funny name for a bad basketball player. Franz Wagner.
It's a great name for a movie villain. I mean, it is.
He's solid, especially when directly compared to Terry Rozier.
Put it on the poll. Does Franz Wagner sound like a movie villain?
It does.
Ahead of only Spurs rookie, defensive wizard, Stephon Castle. And then here he goes in on, as Heat TV announcer Eric Reed said Sunday, it's difficult to think of a good player who had the sudden in his prime regression to the extent Rozier did. And then this is the killer. Rozier has 1 season left on his deal at $26.7 million.
Ooh, nothing better than a big expiring contract, Dano. Puts you in a good position to move it this offseason, potentially. And the good news for the Heat going into this play-in, Terry Rozier will not likely see the floor unless there are several injuries that happen in the next 24 hours, because he is out of the rotation. And I told you, they're shooting 40% from three over their last 13 games. They're not playing well in these close games. But you know what it takes to win in the playoffs, Dan? What do they say? What do they always say? Defense wins championships, right, Stugotz? Defense wins championships. Well, in their last 15 games, the Heat are 4th in the NBA in defensive rating. Nobody in the NBA this season, in clutch moments, so you talk about the Heat struggling On offense, no one in the NBA has more steals in clutch time than Bam Adebayo. He's the best one-on-one defender in the league. Of the 94 players who have defended at least 100 isolations this season, Adebayo ranks number 2 in the league with 0.69 points per game to ball handlers. And since becoming a starter, he's the very best in isolation defense. They also have one of the best pick-and-roll defenders in the league on their team in Davion Mitchell. Of the 116 players who have defended at least 500 pick-and-rolls on the ball this season, he ranks number 3, allowing 0.88 points per game. And if you combine Davion Mitchell and Kel'el Ware defending the pick-and-roll, for instance, they've allowed just 0.68 points per game in the pick and roll, something that the Cleveland Cavaliers do quite often with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland at the top of the key alongside Evan Mobley. So if you're looking for something that could be a recipe for upsets come the postseason, it's a team that can get hot from 3. It's a team that can play defense. It's a team that can defend you one-on-one and as a team. They have the 4th best net rating in the last 15 games. They've lost a lot of close games. That luck can change. Dan, just like in 2023, the possibility is there for one of those runs for the Miami Heat.
Chris Cody yawned 3 times during that.
That's on me, though.
Mike was taking notes, though.
I made a really cool S.
It's an S.
Dan, you okay? It seems like you might have taken something out of you.
I always wanted to know how to make more of those because I have a lot of S's in my name. And so when I would doodle the S's, I'd be like, well, what about the J and the E?
I can make more.
How do you make a J like that?
How much more are you going to talk?
That's it. I just gave you everything. I mean, you should be convinced by now, right? Right?
I genuinely didn't hear
I know you didn't listen to any of it. It's all right. Just like you didn't watch the games, and that's okay. They're bad, but maybe they won't be.
I took offense to calling Terry Rozier a good player. Like when the whole point is hard to think of a good player that has this kind of regression during their prime. Yeah, I solved your riddle, my guys. He's not a good player.
Nobody likes the guy who does my guys there. And Jeremy, we all had, I believe, you're still muffling a yawn, Chris Cody.
Like I said, this is on me, though. I had a late night.
Is it?
It was boring.
What Jeremy is doing right now, great night for women. What Jeremy is doing right now is both reading and math, which I believe our audience is allergic to listening to that into microphones. But he is also doing reading and math at a rate that is way too fast, way too energetic, way too
happy.
I can slow it down if you'd like. You want me to talk again about Kel'el Ware and Davion Mitchell averaging 0.68 points per possession on the pick and roll defense? Or
No.
Okay.
I would like you to be quiet for a second because all of us, I'm going to say that it feels like the show has been tasered. Okay? And so I just need everyone to settle down. Yeah. And I need to gather myself in a segment. I started this segment by telling you I'm leaking confidence. Like, I hold on, Jeremy, don't raise your hand to talk again.
Oh, I was going to defend you in the Pacers.
Jeremy, please don't. Jeremy, just let me help you here, okay? Just slightly. Yeah. I want to help you with me, with the audience, with everybody, okay? You have to understand something that's happened around here because we're headed into the hockey playoffs and this show's about to get obnoxious again, and we're going to alienate audience. Don't love leaking confidence and alienating audience. Don't love that.
That's not how this show was built.
No, yeah, correct. So let's.
Hey, we've had a good run alienating this audience.
Okay, listen. Yes, we have had a good run.
But we've done it with confidence.
Yes. So 20 years in to this thing, and again, I want to apologize to Jessica. Just in general. Jessica, I'm apologizing to you for Heat talk. Again, that you're in the middle of talk about the Heat again when there are a million things about the playoffs that are interesting. The Heat are not one of them. and so to be leaking confidence, to start talking the Miami Heat simply because it's the wheelhouse. It's been the wheelhouse for 20 years. We miss it so much. It's why Mike is so angry. It's why when I read math and tell you, among more than 75 NBA point guards, only 8 shot worse within 5 feet of the basket than Terry Rozier, who shot 55.2%, which is what makes Mike crazy.
No, that being right makes me great. Yeah, man, I'm buzzing right now.
Mike feels great. Yes.
Dude, this This dude was so bad from the jump.
He was right on Terry. He hasn't out of the Panthers, don't advance in the playoffs.
Woo!
Mike is in a great spot right now.
As the playoffs begin.
He seems like it.
Folks, listen up. They're here and they're hot. Get ready because Jimmy John's is turning up the heat. After years of perfecting the cold sandwich, toasted sandwiches are finally here. Try one of their 3 all-new toasted creations. The Toasted Chicken Bacon Ranch, all-natural chicken, creamy home-style ranch, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, fresh veggies, all on a perfectly toasted French bread. Good God, does that sound delicious. Or the Toasted Roast Beef and Cheddar, premium roast beef, melty cheddar, creamy horseradish sauce, crispy fried onions, fresh veggies, golden toasted French bread. It just keeps getting better. And the Toasted Ultimate Italian, salami, capicola, smoked ham, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, shredded Parmesan, fresh veggies toasted to perfection. Or take your favorite Jimmy John classics like the number 9 Italian Nightclub or the number 11 Country Club and get them toasted. Order now at jimmyjohns.com, on the Jimmy John's app, or stop by your local Jimmy John's today.
It's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, and for many of those 50 years, they've been partnered up with the Dan Le Batard Show, back to our terrestrial radio days, all throughout national syndication, Pirate Face, where we are now. So grateful for that partnership because you guys know, we believe it. It's a beer for people who love their beer, and hopefully our audience loves their beer enough to always trust Miller Lite, like I do. From game night parties with friends, or a special anniversary, like 20 years together on air, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. It's Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. Simply put, it just hits different because of those simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color. Oh, and that white can. Do I love that white can? 96 calories and just 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
If you're a pet parent like me, you know about Chewy. When they say they have everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, they're not messing around. Food, toys, prescriptions, whatever you need, they got it. Plus, they can deliver it right to your door. To keep Dopey happy, Chewy offers over 100,000 products from the brands my pets love, at prices I love too. Food, treats, toys, beds, you name it, they've got it. To keep Izzy healthy, Chewy has got me covered with pet prescriptions, insurance, telehealth, vet visits, and even vet clinics rolling out nationwide. My favorite feature? AutoShip. I never run out of essentials like food or litter, and I can update or cancel anytime, so no guilt trips from Dopey and Izzy. Everything ships right to your door in just 1 to 2 days. Oh, and Chewy isn't just for dogs and cats. They've got birds, fish, reptiles, and more covered too. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/DAN. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Dan Le Batard.
He seems like a not nice guy, and he's always been a not nice guy. I don't care for him, and I hope he has the day he deserves.
Oh,
wow. Stugotz.
I hope he has the day he deserves.
That's how I get people when they're really mean to me. I'm not like, go F yourself. I'm like, I hope you have the day you deserve.
It's a great kind insult. Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's leaving it to the cosmos to sort it out.
That's a less southern, bless your heart.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I have an idea, though, Dan. There's another woman here that you can apologize to for too much Miami Hurricanes talk, and it's Lucy.
It's a big day for women. Look, she's wearing hurricane colors. She's wearing hurricane colors.
Because Katy Perry went to space, Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, she did.
Yep.
What did you think about that? We hated it, right?
I saw a great joke that she started singing. That's why they came back so fast. Thanks for laughing. I didn't come up with that. I want to give credit to whoever said it, but
well, you're not giving the credit.
Proud of you.
You just took
Well, I
it.
can't remember who said it, but I'm not saying that I said it.
Why did you say what? Why did you say why was it a great day for women? You had the WNBA draft. Hockey's not playing games.
I thought you meant today.
No, both, all of it. Well, we're here we're celebrating women. That's how Jessica decided to introduce you.
What?
Yeah.
I'm a little lost
On
here.
behalf of Mike Ryan, he would like to apologize for being so annoying about the Miami Hurricanes for the last forever. And also, Dan wants to apologize for being annoying about the Miami Heat. Do you accept?
No.
Okay, well, now
But
I'm really
I
stuck.
think it's a good first step.
Wow.
Okay, well, what else needs to be done? Because
Did you get us gifts?
well, here's the thing. I feel like
Raises?
I feel like
shameless, Dan.
you guys, I thought you were Stugotz. I thought that you guys were going to speak for the audience here, that Jessica and Lucy would look at me and Mike and Parakeet Cortez and Jeremy and all of these Heat homers around here and Hurricane homers, and that the two of you would enjoy mocking us because we're not in a great place.
Well, yeah, but we do that all the time, but then you just keep yapping anyways. It doesn't even serve a purpose.
Yep, that's right.
It was like a year of me mocking you. I had to move because it wasn't working.
Is it better now that you're in New York?
Oh, yeah, no one talks about Miami at all.
I'm
Like,
going to take some notes. I'm taking notes back here.
All right, can we make the giant bet? Can we make the giant bet? What are the stakes on the giant bet here, Jessica? If Chicago and Miami play in Wednesday's play-in game, you can move to New York too?
Sure.
And what do I like?
Wait, but if Miami wins, I can't?
Huh.
I like to keep my options open.
Wait, so if Miami wins, you have to stay?
Okay.
Right. You sure?
I don't know. I wasn't listening to him, but it sounds like he thinks they're going to win. But he always thinks they're going to win.
Right.
I don't know if they'll win the one game. Oh, all right. I got tased.
It is. Okay, Jeremy, just stay in the corner for a second. Let me get to Lucy here. She was at the WNBA draft last night, and there are a number of different things that I want to talk to her about. But it was a glamorous night, and having the sports night to yourself, really, where it's just baseball and stuff, like it was a real celebration of the sport that was cool to watch.
No, yeah, it's cool to see the way this event has kind of progressed through the years. And I think specifically what I love the most is, like, objectively, I'm just going to say it, drafts are like maybe not the most interesting thing in the world. You're just like saying a name. But to see the way that like the WNBA does such a good job of like combining the culture and the fashion and really just making this a celebration of the sport is super fun. And my personal favorite thing was to see the fashion of the night, because like just, 10, 15 years ago, the dress code was business casual. So everyone looked like they were taking a LinkedIn headshot when they were getting drafted. And now it's some of the most beautiful fashion you've ever seen. Like Kiki looks like a goddess. She was ethereal walking through the place. Paige did an outfit change halfway through, looked phenomenal. Georgia Amore was styled by Russell Westbrook. Like the whole thing was just so phenomenal to see. And it is such a benchmark of just how far this league and this event has come.
Well, can we talk about that part, though? Because the NBA got popular, at least in here somewhere. They were good, the NBA was, at creating image. Like the sneaker business is fashion. The whole thing is built on how do we present. Russell Westbrook is a fashion icon, even though many people will laugh at the way he often dresses. So that the idea that they can be trendsetters on fashion too and culture is where it is you see that the sport arrives, because everyone is talking about, oh, what an amazing party they threw, and everyone looks fantastic, and you can you can watch it and just enjoy a celebration. But many people are also doing what I'm not capable of doing, which is breaking down that draft and what the surprises were. Like, what were the things that were dramatic? I can't speak to that. I don't know enough about the league.
Well, 1 through 4 was expected. That played out pretty much exactly how everything was sort of like mocked out to be. Things got kind of weird with the Valkyries pick with the girl, I can't remember exactly, from Lithuania. Tahina Pau dropped. Cheyenne Sellers dropped. Like, you were seeing people really move in directions that I wasn't expecting it. I want to highlight that I think the Mystics had a great draft. I was really, really impressed with what the Mystics did. Obviously, you have 4, 5, 6, so you're in a pretty good spot with Sonia Citron, Kiki, Georgia Amore was just a like collective real bunch of like that franchise really needs a spark of life, and I think they got it. And I think something that actually goes back to your point earlier, just about kind of the culture and what makes it so cool, is that it's interesting to see the way that TikTok has really factored into this, because this morning I was scrolling and like so much of my feed was direct player to media content of getting ready for the draft. Here's how I put my outfit together. Here's what the experience is like. And I think that's really opened up the doors for the culture to become just like such a phenomenon within the WNBA. And it was really cool to see how everything came together.
Lucy, I have a question for you, because on TV it seems like the audience this year is in Hudson Yards was like way bigger than last year, where it was in Brooklyn and like a Brooklyn Music Hall, I think, or something. I can't remember what the venue's called, but it's a lot smaller. This year's a lot bigger, and you have like Ryan Rucco and Lobo and Andrea Carter on the desk, and they're talking, and they did the same thing last year too. But last year seemed like it was a little bit more smaller and intimate. This is like a big venue, and there's people at round tables and like lots of people in the audience. But on TV, it seemed like everyone in the audience was just silent while they were doing the draft analysis. And it seemed like if I were there, it would be a little awkward. Did it seem awkward at all?
Well, bad news, they wouldn't let us into the actual draft, so we watched the whole thing on a TV in the back. So.
You're not supposed to give that up, Lucy. You're supposed to do that privately.
Well, I can't,
that's not ethical journalism.
No, but it wasn't our fault. It was not our fault.
Wait a minute. That is not ethical journalism.
It wasn't incompetence.
No, it wasn't our fault. We didn't do it wrong. It just like we just didn't get the like credential.
I mean,
access.
that makes sense.
There were a lot of people, so I don't even know.
Well, it seemed awkward, and
but
like
the fashion was great.
In Lucy's defense, the people that are sitting at the round tables are like the players, their parents, Gino Auriemma, Don Staley. Like it's all coaches. Like it's very, very front facing WNBA and like college basketball people. And Lucy, I imagine, will be there soon, but maybe not this year.
Yeah, I didn't get the cut this year. And last year, I don't even think I really got the cut. Like last year was just a little more lax. But what I remember from last year was like the energy is like a little lower. It's not like the NFL draft, where the NFL draft is so fan focused and it's so heavy on drinking. Like it's kind of a big party, where this is definitely way more of a formal event. The energy you really get is when teammates get drafted. And so when everyone brings in their teammates and you're just like rooting on for your friends, like that's awesome. Like Caitlin Chen was sort of the moment of the night of just like excited. The vibes are so high, but it's like objectively drafts are like just kind of weird. There's like calling names. It's a weird process, but everybody looked fabulous. It looked fun from the outside. Love to be in one day. Love to see it in person.
I want some expertise from you on college football as well. Have you checked out the Athletics 44-page open document request on Belichick and his girlfriend? Have you checked that story out?
No, I haven't, but I will. I love her.
What do you love about her?
That she's a hustler, that she is just like women in sports. I love it. Like she just, I don't know, she's fascinating to me. She's just like showed up and taken this whole thing by storm. And like, is it probably going to be a disaster? Absolutely. But it's kind of one of those things I'm like, I need her to get a reality TV deal. The Real Housewives of Chapel Hill, please.
That's a great idea.
Chapel Bill.
They trademarked that. How have you not seen this story? You're not going behind a paywall. I would think that this would be exactly your kind of story. They're not.
When did it get published?
Today.
Okay, well, I was kind of busy doing this.
It's okay.
So are we?
Yeah.
He's not blaming you.
And I was at the W draft last night.
Right. Well, you were on the outside looking in, but yeah.
It got published 2 hours ago, so maybe there's a little bit of a grace period.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 hours? That's crazy.
It's just the big story of the day. That's all. I just thought you'd know about it.
Actually, Dan, you probably shouldn't talk about it. It's kind of a spoiler.
I mean, you got that is an excellent tool. Can I have it? Can you
take it for a walk, Dan?
Can you give me that?
Sound?
Well, I'm afraid that I'm going to
give you what?
Version.
I think I'm just gonna hit Jeremy with it all the time, and it's
Don't give Dan this.
It's gonna be abusive.
Chris is doing fine with it.
Yeah, you tase him plenty with your tone when he speaks.
Okay. Did you have any thoughts? Maybe you didn't catch this either. J.D. Vance dropping the trophy yesterday. Maybe you missed this because you were very busy with the WNBA draft and talking to sponsors and schmoozing.
No, I did see that because that was just like that popped up on the TikTok feed
Right.
for sure.
That's not
Just
44
classic.
pages. Yes.
Yeah, no, thank God. 44 pages? Oh my God. I can't. I'm already reading another book.
You're
right now. I
not
can't read
going
two
to
books at
read the
one time.
article, are you, Lucy? You're not.
No,
gonna,
I'll read the article. I've just had things going on.
You're not going to go behind the paywall, are you?
You know what? No, I will because I believe. Don't we have a company subscription?
We do.
Oh, there we go. See, I don't even have to worry about it.
I don't believe you'll send out the email to get the password. I don't believe you'll do anything to
Hey,
go
Jess,
find this
do
story.
you have it?
It's accounts.
Do you have the
Yeah,
password?
I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
Easy.
Also, PFF
Done.
Premium. I've been deep in the Nico Leava.
Well,
PFF Premium.
I want to get to that story with you too. So JD Vance dropping the trophy. What do you got?
It was just like emblematic. It was just that's life. That's college football right now. Like you just couldn't have scripted it out better yourself. And it's just stay away from my stuff. Leave me alone. You break everything. You ruin everything. You were the worst.
Here. What are your thoughts on Nico, Lucy? It's obviously the topic du jour. And North Carolina, it seemed like maybe he was in the running for landing him, but now looks like they're going to get South Alabama's quarterback in the portal. So where's he going to end up?
I have no clue where he ends up. It's such a weird sort of situation where there are limits to where he ends up because it's the spring portal where he now has no access to transfer to the SEC. You can, but you'll sit out a year. And with the amount of money he's asking for, he wants $4 million. He was making $2.4 million per year at Tennessee. I don't know. And I don't know what schools' financial situations are. Some of this stuff is kind of private. I don't know who's going to be able to pay that. Having a lot of these rosters have already been kind of set. A lot of these things have already been sort of figured out for schools. They've already made that investment in a quarterback. And my thing with Nico is he's not worth $4 million in my opinion. Like I want everyone to get paid. I want players to make money, but like that's kind of a crazy ask from Nico when he was, he was 10th SEC in passing yards this year. This was a Tennessee offense that was not fun to watch. It was just the whole thing was just kind of a crazy the vibe I got was like someone's getting bad advice here, and it's weird to see, and like it's very much like what's happening in my sport, even though this stuff has always been happening. I have no idea where he ends up. It's such a crazy situation, and I've heard that like when he was testing the markets, obviously his agent is reaching out to different places that players were able to use that to get more money and to solidify their spot. So like he's not even getting these opportunities. It's just crazy. It's nuts.
Okay, so when you say this, though, because I want to examine the macro on this, it does seem crazy to me that in the last 5 years, you're sitting here blowing through the idea out loud of $2.4 million, $4 million. What's this guy worth? We don't know. Yesterday, we were talking, and it didn't seem like Jessica. You're come with a stronger opinion than Jessica Mike had when I'm giving the stat on him that is 19 touchdown passes and 11 were against like Chattanooga and 2 other bad teams. And so 19's not a lot. 19 for a season is not a lot of touchdowns. And so when I'm looking at those quarterback stats and just doing it on numbers, not name, I'm saying the same thing Lucy is, which is like Josh Heupel can say it should be about the team, or he can just say, you know what, I can do better for $4 million.
I think a lot of this is the fact that, like, one, I don't know how much Tennessee has to offer and to pay. And $4 million is a hefty ask. And I think it's important that they went to the playoff. He led them to the playoff. But if you watch Tennessee football last year, their offense wasn't changing the world. It was their defense that got them to where they were. Especially when you think about the offense that Tennessee had just a few years ago with Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, it is a completely different program now, and that's not Josh Heupel's sort of bag as this not great offense and a really solid defense. He just like for $4 million when you're already making $2.4 million and you had a season that was fine and Tennessee fans weren't over the moon. Like there was points in the season where Tennessee fans were like, bench him. We're done with Nico. To ask for $4 million, I think is kind of crazy. And he's also like, he's in college. I'm assuming like my big thing is I'm guessing people have told him he's worth more for these teams in these markets. And I hope it works out for him. I really do.
Yeah, I think my point is just that, like, you're worth whatever someone will pay you. And if a team has money and is desperate and wants to, there's plenty of reasons why you can convince yourself that this is going to work out for you. Like, he's not this horrible player. He's young. He wasn't great against better defenses last year, like Lucy said. So if someone wants to pay him that, which he clearly was banking on the fact that existed, the market existed for him, then yeah, like he's worth it, but maybe not at Tennessee. And it turns out definitely not at Tennessee.
But you would say, right, when she says it's just crazy and I don't know and there are limited options, I would ask Mike, who's desperate to get in here and talk about the Miami spring game, I am sure. I would ask Mike, is anyone going to pay $4 million for that resume and the idea of growth? And is anyone substantive going to pay for that?
During this window, it's pretty tough. I mean, that's a high end of it, but that's kind of the market for quarterbacks this cycle. Like the marquee quarterbacks got paid a certain number. I know what Cam Ward was making, and
how much is Carson Beck making?
Carson Beck is not making what's out there.
Does he get new cars?
It's not. Carson Beck has made a lot of money over his career. Carson Beck, no, he's not getting paid what I've seen out there. I've seen crazy numbers.
But it's north of 2.4, isn't it?
I'm not.
You're gonna no comment. You're gonna no comment.
I've been doing this thing with you for 20 years.
No, look, Mike.
It's not what it's out there. Look, we know what we paid Cam Ward. We know that the market has moved up. We know what other quarterbacks have asked. I would say that Nico isn't that far off base asking for 4. He is that off base asking for 4 in the spring. And I think part of in doing some digging is it's not the first time Nico's kind of tried to pull, like, I got other options. He's always looking for stalking horses, and there just comes a time where they might be over it, and when you jeopardize a spring game by holding out, that's certainly one of those times, and I can understand why Josh Heupel says enough of this. We can't let this continue be a standard around Tennessee.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing is like the perception that he had this leverage, especially now. I think that's what's crazy. Not necessarily that like, hey, I'm one of the best quarterbacks, I should be paid like one. That's not that crazy to me. What's crazy is that it was now, it happened in this way, and that he really didn't have any of this leverage at all.
If you recall, like when Nico first came over to Tennessee, it was a reported multi-year agreement, and they've probably already gone back and fixed that. And he's saying, well, look, I'm the chosen one. I came, I delivered. You guys made it to the playoff. Yeah, I wasn't what you thought I would be statistically, but I was, the guy under center, and we made it to the playoff. And that's not totally out of line with where the market went. So I understand why that was the ask, and can also understand Tennessee being sick and tired of it, saying we've already revisited your deal more times than we probably should have, given how you even came here. And you can't be holding our team hostage every time the spring window, every time a window opens up. We can't be doing this. But look, there were a lot. Jaden Ott entered the transfer portal yesterday.
He's good.
That was crazy.
Yeah, he had a bad year last year. I thought the year before.
He was hurt a lot last year. Like, he played hurt almost the whole season.
He had a 75-yard touchdown run against Miami that he stepped out of bounds, but nobody seemed to talk about that missed call.
Okay.
Hold on.
I said one thing.
Lucy had something to say.
It's the thing you didn't say then.
Yes, Stugotz the entire segment. Lucy, I'm sorry, but Stugotz the entire segment has been complaining in my ear. I can't believe Mike no commented us. Now
it's not my business.
I put him on the spot. I put him on the spot.
I know what's sensitive here. I do. But Stugotz, I couldn't even hear what anyone was saying because the entire time everyone was talking, Stugotz is like, he can't no comment us there, Dan. He can't. And I'm thinking to myself, look, he's in bed with the school, but also he does business with the school, and he's walking a fine line here. He's informed. He's giving us information, but it can't be damaging to the program. And it's a bit of a high wire. And
I know what you guys make. You want me to put that out there too? It's not my business.
Oh, that feels familiar. That's really interesting.
Lucy, you were saying, I'm sorry I interrupted you. He did no comment us, though.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is just really important for me to say. It's really, really important. If you want to go see Nico in his new team, wherever that's going to be, you can book the trip with Priceline. Are you dreaming about that trip? Book it and go to your happy price with Priceline. We don't know where it's going to be. Thank God the deals are so good, so it'll be cheap no matter what.
Thank you, Lucy. Would you go to space?
Ew, no.
Right.
No?
What about the club?
Ew.
Ew?
Ew. Why would I go to space?
I don't know. It seems to be
it's the final frontier.
It's a great conversation starter at a cocktail
I don't know.
party.
Why would I want to go?
Because
Katy
you could
Perry
say
went. I don't want to go where Katy Perry went.
Because the next time they shut you out of the WNBA draft, you can just like stomp a foot and say, "I've been to space." You mean to tell me I can't get in this draft?
No, look, space, that wasn't meant for me. That wasn't really meant for any of us. I feel the same way about the ocean. I'm just not going to mess with it. I know where I don't belong.
Lucy, if you had to pick one, like this is, shot for your life situation, but you had to do this, okay? Go into the deep water of the ocean in like one of those submersible things, or go to outer space with Katy Perry.
Wow. Oof.
Oh, man, the Katy Perry one, that's what throws you off.
Yes.
Is she going to sing?
The entire time.
Oh, then I'm going underwater. If she doesn't sing, I'll go
No
in
one's
space.
choosing underwater there. That submersible thing is more terrifying than space.
It depends on Katy Perry if she's going to sing. Actually, hold up. Is she going to sing stuff from her old albums? Then I'm good. But if she sings the new stuff, I have to go underwater.
It's such a good question.
I kissed a girl.
I don't know how many.
Oh, yeah, we'll go in space.
I don't know how many people listening to this are just terrified of the idea of you're going up in a rocket and that's got danger in it. But if you put me in one of those submersibles and we're going down, no, thank you. Like, no. I'll take space 7,000 times before I will take that. The down in a submarine, no. Put it on the poll. At Le Batard Show. Do you have any interest in going down in a submarine?
You're forgetting the Katy Perry part. That's the most important part of the equation.
She's not in the submarine, She's in the rocket singing.
What is your problem with Katy Perry?
Have you listened to her new song? It's so bad. That album was terrible. I just don't want to listen to it.
Okay, but also, Gayle King is there, but she's not going to talk because she's nervous the whole time.
Right.
Well, yeah, so that means we don't even get to chat. We just hear Katy Perry.
Thank you, Lucy.
Folks, listen up. They're here and they're hot. Get ready because Jimmy John's is turning up the heat. After years of perfecting the cold sandwich, toasted sandwiches are finally here. Try one of their 3 all-new toasted creations. The Toasted Chicken Bacon Ranch, all-natural chicken, creamy home-style ranch, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, fresh veggies, all on a perfectly toasted French bread. Good God, does that sound delicious. Or the Toasted Roast Beef and Cheddar, premium roast beef, melty cheddar, creamy horseradish sauce, crispy fried onions, fresh veggies, golden toasted French bread. It just keeps getting better. And the Toasted Ultimate Italian, salami, capicola, smoked ham, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, shredded Parmesan, fresh veggies toasted to perfection. Or take your favorite Jimmy John classics like the number 9 Italian Nightclub or the number 11 Country Club and get them toasted. Order now at jimmyjohns.com, on the Jimmy John's app, or stop by your local Jimmy John's today.
It's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, and for many of those 50 years, they've been partnered up with the Dan Le Batard Show, back to our terrestrial radio days, all throughout national syndication, Pirate Face, where we are now. So grateful for that partnership because you guys know, we believe it. It's a beer for people who love their beer, and hopefully our audience loves their beer enough to always trust Miller Lite, like I do. From game night parties with friends, or a special anniversary, like 20 years together on air, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. It's Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. Simply put, it just hits different because of those simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color. Oh, and that white can. Do I love that white can? 96 calories and just 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.